Made in China. These are over boots. They put their shoes and everything right in them, and they wear them on the docks and at workers everywhere. Fresh washed up. Yeah, my name's John Anderson. I'm the owner of John's Beachcombing Museum out here in Forks, Washington. And I've been beachcombing for the last 46 years. And when I retired from plumbing, I took my plumbing shop and turned it into a beachcombing museum. You know, I'm a museum curator, I guess. I decided to open the museum after I retired from my business, plumbing business. And then I was talked by a bunch of friends, my oceanographer friend. Him and a couple others were really trying to tell me to open the first beachcombing museum in the United States. And I got to thinking about it, and I says, you know, I could do that. I ain't got nothing else to do, really. So I took my shop and made a museum out of it. Everybody was blown away by it, you know, mostly. I had ladies come in here and their husband was staying in the truck. And they'd just start coming around here and they'd go right back out and drag their husband in there, and he'd be even more fascinated than her. You know, I had people come from all over the world just to see my museum. I was in a German newspaper one time, and I had an old couple come over to the United States just to come here to see the museum. I consider everything I've got as treasure. Until I take it off of here and put it in the dumpster, then it's trash. But it's an educational tool right now. Kind of looks cool. Everything's colorful. It's really colorful. So that's a big part of it to me, is just being really colorful, because it really picks your spirit up when you see that stuff. I mean, if all you're doing is looking at a bunch of gray rocks, you know, it wouldn't be that great a deal. But I have some of them too. But there's so many different things in here. It's just like life. Beachcombing, it all derived from the glass float. It's the holy grail of beachcombing, the early 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. This is what people were finding. They're artistic, they look great. They're not very durable for fishing, but this is what everybody looked for. It's considered the holy grail of beachcombing. That's how I started out, was beachcombing for these glass floats. And as you can see, they're very colorful, very unique, and they haven't made them or used them since the early 60s. So they're really rare to find them anymore. They still go round and around in the current and come in when the wind decides to bring them in, but they're not going to disintegrate because they're glass, unless they hit the beach and break. But this is what I originally went to the beach, which got me started beachcombing, was the glass floats. This is what we go for right here. Of course, I go for everything else, but I have stuff in the museum basically from all over the world, and I'll walk through here once in a while and try and find something to throw away. And it's really hard to do, because even the stuff that's just garbage I have displayed as garbage, is you look at it and you go, you know, I could make some of that with art, you know? First thing I did, the big tower in the yard, that's my monument to beachcombing. Amos Wood, an old beachcombing friend who wrote the first books on beachcombing, he passed away, and I dedicated it to him because I just finished it. So, and you could see it from the highway, so I've had just tons of people come through, even before I had a museum. just because of the nature of it, art, I guess, you know, sculpture like that. So yeah, to me, it's just something to keep me busy. This is one of my most unique. So this is a Boeing jet engine, 727 jet engine center spinner cone part found on the beach. It's a pressurized cylinder that blows fire retardant out in case the engine's on fire. Found on the beach. I contacted Boeing. It's got the numbers on it, and they said they were going to come confiscate it, but eventually they told me what it was, but they wouldn't tell me what plane it came from. So this is another interesting item. It's a plastic sake bottle crate that a sea lion bit and broke his tooth off in there. There was probably floating out there and had a fish inside there, and he was probably trying to grab it, and he broke his tooth off in there. Very unusual. These are some of my favorite things just because they're really cool. Nuclear sub locator beacons and flares, and a World War II life raft radio, and a submarine marker light. These are really cool items that you never going to find. So one of the questions I get asked is, what's the weirdest thing I've ever found on the beach? And I had several items up until I found this, but snake in a sake bottle with sake. It grosses a lot of people out. A lot of people are afraid of snakes, even though it's dead in there. But a lot of the Asians would put snakes in their liquor, so when they drank it, they would get the mojo from the snake. The guy's gonna get you.
Oh my God.
Things are a little more remote up here, so I went to the Beachcombers Fair, and they give a talk down there. There's a guy gives a talk on beachcombing down there, and their beaches are all flat and sandy, and you can drive on them. I'm thinking, well, that's pretty lame when you can just drive down the beach and pick things up. So I got to thinking, I hike in miles on these remote trails and hike miles on the beach, pack stuff out. And I said, so I'm going to do a talk on extreme beachcombing. So I took pictures of the beach of me packing things out, the rugged terrain and stuff. And it's not just driving down the beach picking stuff up. It's big rocks, big logs, big hikes in, and bad weather. So it's extreme beachcombing. I tried to get the football team to come down here and pack it off for me, but they said they wouldn't do it. Somebody's already sprayed graffiti on it. I beachcombed for 62 hours one time and just got home, took a shower, went to bed. Head hit the pillow and the phone rang, and my buddy goes, "Are we going up to Vancouver Island?" I said, "I don't know, call my buddy with the plane." And he called right back. He says, "It's going to be at the airport in 15 minutes. So down there we went. We flew up to Vancouver Island, loaded the plane up with glass floats, and flew home. So I was beat. That's extreme beachcombing right there. Seat out of a boat. Somebody lost their boat. In extreme beachcombing, the hazards are the tide, the ocean itself, the waves. Never underestimate the power of Mother Nature. People get killed every year by the logs, slipping and falling on the logs, especially when they're icy. A lot of times you'll find hazardous stuff and you can contact the authorities and they can remove it. You know, barrels full of caustic solutions and rat poison containers and all different stuff like that. You have to get a hold of the authorities and they come and get it off the beaches so people don't mess with it. So there are hazards. Most of them are just where you're at hiking. I've fallen and broken ribs and broke my wrist, beachcombing, and sprained my ankles and all kinds of good stuff. I haven't got flown off yet, but shoe. Started picking up shoes. They had the great Nike shoe spill of 91. They lost, I don't know, 70,000 Nike shoes in a couple of containers. And we were beachcombing them. They were brand new. We were making pairs and giving them all to our friends and family. We would go along looking for Nike shoes and we'd find an old shoe like this, and we figured somebody found a brand new one and traded that one in, so we called them trade-ins. So I have a boat full of used shoes and a boat full of new shoes back at the museum, so it goes in the bag. Probably one of my best things of interacting with people was not them themselves, but notes and bottles that I've found. I try and get back to all of them. A lot of them don't, they're too old or gone. My favorite message in a bottle is from John from a city in eastern Washington. I found the bottle and I read it, and it says, he tells about his school project, where he lives, where he goes to school, and at the end it says, I got 2 brothers and 1 sister. He says, my dad wrestles a lot. I got a stepmother too, she is lazy. So to me, that was just the beasties. Kids, what comes out of the mouths of babes, you know. So I wrote the letter to him, and I copied the letter, and then I sent him my own letter, hoping to get a reply back, but I never did. But what I'm thinking is the stepmother got to read that letter, and he was probably in timeout for that. But I tried to research him last year, so I put his name in the computer, and from the same city in eastern Washington, the name came up, and all I got was a rap sheet a mile long. So I don't think the kid had a good, I think it could have started from the lazy stepmother. I don't know, but. So this is the display for the tsunami items. The 2011 Japanese tsunami that wiped out half of the Japanese coast. And so I created a spot here to commemorate that. This is lumber from their housing, the old original housing. It was all mortise and tenon, no nails or screws or nothing. It would withstand an earthquake, but not a tsunami. There's this wooden statue here of Ibisu and Dakutan, good luck god of fishing and agriculture. This is a hard hat from a fishing boat that was a big fishing vessel that disappeared after the tsunami. These buoys here with the kanji marking on them, that's the family names of that fishery. So those are real personal things. A lot of burnt stuff that melted and was down between the floor joists, the houses that burnt and floated out. Combs, lighters, a lot of personal stuff, shoes. When it did come on the beaches, it increased the beachcombing quite a bit. The big black oyster buoys, in 35 years of beachcombing, I found 5 of those. In the next 2 years after the tsunami, I found 50 of them. That's how much it increased. And plus the small plastic floats, thousands of them. So, but I didn't realize, and this is something that really got to me. I've been beachcombing all this stuff, it's all really cool. But until the tsunami hit, I didn't realize that everything here, even all this other stuff in this museum, somebody had something to do with it at one time. So everything, it made everything real personal to me. That somebody drank that bottle, somebody lost that, somebody might have lost their life doing this. So, I mean, even lumber for the houses, you know, somebody lost it, they used it, so made a big difference. For me, it's exercise now. I mean, I've got so much stuff that it's still exercise and it's still cleaning the beaches, and you know, there's more artwork to be done with it. And so it's just, to me, it's, you know, I'm not getting any younger, but I want to stay lively, because I figure when I have to sit down and quit, then that's going to be the end of it. So. I had an 85-year-old friend who collected marine stuff, train, logging stuff, farming equipment. And then he did it till he was 85, 90 years old. And I says, you know, if he can do it till he can't do it anymore, that's what I'm going to do.